All right, so this is more about Photoshop stuff. So if I want to create some interesting pattern in Photoshop or Illustrator, you can do the same thing. I want to do a hexagon here, define as 6. I can definitely do the shape right here. That looks actually pretty nice. Then I should go ahead and reverse the color. So basically black to white, white to black. I will definitely draw some kind of connections. I will do this in line tool. I want to define the thickness 20, that's fine. So if you imagine the black color is a window, right? You do need something kind of frame the window in some way. Okay, I think I like that. So I will save the file. Here, back to Maya here. I will just go back to my material editor, right? Go to Hypershade. And I'm going to refresh this image. So here, reload. So you have this new texture showed up. That's really cool. Okay. If you render, definitely you will see these openings like that way. You can also try something more complex. For example, I can go to filters. Let's try something. Do you remember there's a stained glass material? Okay, here we go, stained glass. Well, let's see. Number one, I don't want to have any lighting intensities. I will reduce that to 0. I would kind of increase the border just to make it a little bit stronger. The cell, I want to maybe, choose some dimension you kind of like it. Okay. Close it. So you got this new pattern, you save it, and here in Maya you can simply update just by reload. Then you can see this new texture pattern show up. I think they could somehow create a loop across the surface. So for example, here in Maya, if I want to use filter to shift the texture, I can do an offset. So what this means, Photoshop will shift the entire, image along either X or Y based on this offset value. So here I will do offset along 400. That's kind of half. 400 here. So I think this looks like a tile very well, but there's something missing in the middle. So I can definitely draw additional shapes. Maybe a big something here. So what this means is if this image will be applied in a 3D surface, this will continuous across the entire surface. You won't see the tile, right? Because everything is edge to edge. They kind of flow across the edge. That makes sense. All right. So here I go back to Maya and I will reload the image. So here we go. If I apply to this surface, I think it's easier to see. Right? You don't really see where is the edge. It's just a continuous flow across the entire surface. Okay. So this is definitely useful for you to do some kind of level of detail just by masking the image. Okay. I can show you one more thing about create a level of detail using bump. All right, this is kind of similar concept. You use a black and the white image to create the illusion, to create the quality of a 3D. And this time I'm going to use another, I will actually use this guy. I think it's fun. What is the best way to create a bump? So for example, I want to use this image to create a bump across all the edges. Okay. So what would be the best way to do so? I will select the entire image. I'm going to copy into a new file. Okay. All right. And then I paste, copy paste. So you can see I just copied the white part of this image. If I like, I can easily change the color by double click the layer. I can change the color to stroke. You can kind of see, this is all the edges. I want to do the stroke inside. Okay. So this is actually a new image. Let me use Control E to flat the image. I want to reverse the color, black to white, white to black. So this is totally new image, right? I will save this image as a JPEG because I don't really care about alpha channel. I just want to, do the bump mapping with black and white. So I will give this name as bump, B-U-M-P. And go back to Maya program, and we already have this shader, right, which has a connection. If I click the shader, let's click the shader and see what happens. You could definitely see in the color channel, right, it has something attached. Did you see this arrowhead? That means right now that TGA file was attached to the color channel. You see the transparency channel has something attached as well, right? It's actually the same image. It's using alpha channel to attach the transparency. You do see another option here, the bump mapping, right? So here I will click the bump mapping. I will link to a file. So click File. I will link the file name. Right now is nothing here. I will link to that bump. Okay. So basically, if I refresh this shader, you will see the shader was made by two images. One is a TGA, another is a bump. Okay. It's better to make the UV number match. So if the concrete TGA is 5 by 5, here for this guy, I will do the 5 by 5 as well. So later when you apply to the same shader, they should match. And this guy, this node, will actually control the height. Control the height of the bump. So right now it's 1. Let's leave this to 1 and see what happens. I will do a rendering to see the bump effects. So render that. Hopefully we should see some nice detail from it. All right. I see this kind of transparency controlled by the alpha channel. At the same time, you'll see the bump effects. It creates this kind of frame. High resolution rendering, let's take a little bit longer time. Almost done. So here we go. See that detail here. Okay, so very cool. This is something definitely will speed up your conceptual design process. I would say don't spend too much time to create some nice detail. Later you think, well, I don't like it. Just try something really fast before you move to one direction. Try multiple iterations. Okay, so that's pretty much about the bump mapping. Apparently, if you wanna make the bump more or less, just go ahead, click the bump node, then you'll change the depth value, make it stronger, or I can, make it as 5. This may be a little bit too strong. Then I do a new rendering. You should be more significant. This case. Yeah, it's better now. Okay, I will leave that to you. Rendering is a little bit too slow. Probably it's because the resolution. So I will actually set up the resolution to a lower one. When you do the test rendering, you don't really need the high resolution at all. Keep it. Here we go, master. In the future, if you want to learn more about the mental ray rendering or the HDR rendering, which is a high dynamic range rendering, refer to my other tutorials. I don't want to do this in this tutorial. All right, let me stop the video.